So today we are going to discuss about refractive errors in children. So refractive error, which is also known as refraction error. So this is a problem which is actually happening because of the inability of the light to accurately focusing upon the retina, which is happening due to certain shape or alterations in the size of the eye or the shape of the retina. Let's see regarding the etiological factors. And in the etiology, it is believed that the disease can develop because of hereditary and any injuries happening to the optic nerve because they are responsible for vision and UV radiations exposure for a long period of time, then infection with the adenovirus which can cause serious infections in the brain as well as the optic nerve. If the patient or the child has undergone any previous eye surgeries or any kind of eye injuries, at the same time any optic nerve hypoplasia or any other running active eye infections. So these all are the major etiological factors which is considered for the development of refractive errors in the eye. So let's see the pathophysiology. So we have discussed regarding various etiological factors. So due to all these etiological factors, there will be the degenerative changes will be occurring in the lens. So usually the eye lens is made up of protein as well as the water content. So here there will be alterations in the fiber structures of the lens will take place. As a result, the loss of elasticity of the lens which will be leading to decrease the ability of the lens to accommodate the light rays. So this will be leading to a kind of refractive errors. Okay. Now we are going to study regarding the different types of refraction errors. So in that first one is myopia. So in myopia, the close objects are very clear and the distant objects will be very blurry. So this is also known as nearsightedness. So this is usually an inherited disease condition and usually this can be discovered during the childhood. So here the myopia progress throughout the teenage year when this body is growing very rapidly. So this is also known as nearsightedness where the person can see the or the child can see the close objects very clear and the distant objects will be very blurry. And next one is hyperopia. So here the close objects are very blurry than the distant objects. So this is also known as farsightedness. So this disease can also be an inherited condition. So here the child with hyperopia, usually the disease condition will be very severe in the childhood, but it may lessen in the adulthood period. So here the distant vision is very clear, where the near vision is very blurry. So in more advanced cases, in the child may be having a blurred vision at all the distances. Okay. And next one is astigmatism. So astigmatism usually occur when the front surface of the eye, that is the cornea, which is having an asymmetrical curvature. So normally the cornea is very smooth and which is equally curved in all the directions. As a result, when the light rays are start to enter into the cornea, the cornea will focus the light rays in all direction in an equal way. But in case of astigmatism, the cornea is not having an equal curvature. So this is having curved more in one direction than that of the other direction. As a result, what will happen? The light rays which is reflecting through this astigmatic lens will be looking like a mirror which is sending the light like a distorted wavy mirror. Okay. And next one regarding the clinical manifestations. So not able to see the learning material. So usually the children will be having the complaints at the school. They won't be able to see the learning materials or they won't be able to see the blackboard or the whiteboard. They will be having difficulty in reading and they will be repeatedly rubbing their eyes while reading or when they are watching the TV. And the child may be having the complaints of double vision. At the same time, he also complaining regarding he can see a halo around the lights. Then some children they may be having the habits of squinting and they also complain you about headache, eye strain and difficulty in reading the nearby objects or the far objects. So based upon the type of disease condition, the child may be showing various clinical manifestation and the child may be having a compliance of frequent changing of his eye prescription, his spectacle prescription also he used to say. Now regarding the diagnosis, how we can diagnose this disease condition. So usually the diagnosis is mainly based upon the history collection. So where the doctor will be asking the child regarding his clinical manifestations or whether he is having any trouble in seeing the nearby objects or far objects or both the objects. Okay. Next one is regarding an eye examination. So this eye examination is the gold standard measure for the diagnosis of refractive error. So this can usually confirm the refractive errors by a professional eye specialist during the eye examination. Next one is regarding visual acuity. So Snellen study is used and computerized test also nowadays common. So with that the visual acuity of the child is assessed. Coming to the medical management, so the medical management mainly depending upon identifying the cause. So early identification of the cause and proper treatment can cure this disease in the childhood period itself. Then use of glass to prevent the entry of foreign particles to the eye. At the same time, if the child is having any running eye infections, antibiotics can be provided to treat the eye infection. Cycloplegic drugs are used to paralyze the ciliary muscles in order to determine the true refractive errors. Okay, then cholinergic drugs are also available. Example is pilocarpine. This drug will increases the aqueous flow by contracting the ciliary muscles. Thus, they helps to reduce any chances of development of glaucoma, and thereby we can manage the development of these refractive errors. Then beta blockers drugs are also given. They will decreases the aqueous humor production. And next is most commonly surgical management is usually performed. In that, first one is LASIK. So this is a surgery which is mainly used to correct myopia, hyperopia, as well as the astigmatism. So this will helps to produce or to reshape the cornea with the help of a laser. So this is usually done with the help of a computer or computer assisted cold laser. Okay, so here the surgeon will cut the flap in the center of the cornea. That is a thin layer of tissue is removed from there. So this will helps to flatten the cornea. So if the cornea is having any asymmetrical curvature, this will helps to reduce that and this will flatten the cornea. So in most of the cases, the recovery from LASIK surgery is very fast and this is not having much discomfort or any complications. So mild pain will be very common. So that can be managed with the eye drops. Okay. Next is regarding RK, that is radial keratotomy. So this is mainly used to correct mild myopia. So here also tiny incisions are made in the cornea and this will helps to flatten the cornea and it will helps to reduce the curvature in the cornea. So this will further reducing the refraction. So here the cornea is made a cut. So usually it will take around few weeks to for the healing purpose. So this is the most common surgery usually performed earlier, but nowadays LASIK has been replaced by this surgery. Next one is regarding the intracorneal rings. So they are also used to treat the mild myopia. So these are the small rings which can be implanted in the cornea and this implants will helps to reduce the curvature of the cornea and to improve the vision. Okay. So next see regarding what are the complications that can develop following an eye surgery. So sometimes they will be overcorrected vision or undercorrected vision. Again, because of the surgical procedures and all, there are chances of changes happening in the corneal curvature, and this can lead to astigmatism. Then some children they won't be able to wear the contact lenses following the surgery. Then scarring, there are chances of corneal scarring, and because of the invasive procedure, chances of infections are very high and there are chances of vision loss also. And regarding the nursing management, so usually the nurse has to observe the response of the treatment and help the client to correctly and carefully selecting the treatment options. So there are treatment options are available. Glasses can be worn. At the same time, surgery also can be done. So it is based upon their decision. So the nurse has to help them. Then assess for any drug allergies. Then administration of eye drops also an important factor. At the same time, the nurse has to observe the child for any common side effects. Okay, so proper documentation is one of the important factor. Then health education can be given on the basis of the treatment options selected by the patient and regarding the importance of wearing eye patches, spectacles, etc. when they are going into a sun or to prevent from the UV light exposure. Okay, so these all are regarding the nursing management. So thank you.